Welcome back to our historical snippets. This week I'm going to talk about Bass Reeves. He is the original Lone Ranger, and you will find out why. He was born into slavery in Arkansas in 1838. He grew to be 6'2". He was mannerly and he had a huge sense of humor. He was also quite handsome. And now we need to move to the Civil War. And George Reeves decided to take Bass with him to the Civil War. Now, sometime during the war, and we don't really know what happened, Bass just escaped and he ran to the Indian Territory. And he stayed with the Creek and the Seminole. While he was there, he practiced his gun and he became an incredible gunshot. Bass is a fugitive at this point, but in 1863 we have the Emancipation Proclamation. And now he's free. In 1864, he marries. He and his wife have 10 children. Now, the Indian Territory where he's residing is pretty much a lawless place. In 1875, it becomes a federal and state jurisdiction. And what that means is we're going to have the ability to hire people to be U.S. Deputy Marshals. They had the money to hire 200. And Bass Reeves becomes a U.S. Deputy Marshal. So he travels from Fort Reno to Fort Sill to Anadarko. But he catches outlaws all along the way and then all the way back. And he takes them back to Fort Smith, Arkansas. Also, I need to go back just a moment. When he was a child, he asked to read. He wanted to read. And of course, being a slave, they were not allowed to read and write. So now that he is a U.S. Deputy Marshal, he's handed warrants, and he's got to be able to read them, but he can't. So he has someone read the warrant for him. He memorized what's on the warrant. He goes and disguises himself. He could be a gunslinger, he could be an outlaw, he could be a farmer. And because of that, he's unsuspecting and is able to catch all of these outlaws. So he now travels with 2 45 Colt peacemakers on his hips. He's ambidextrous, so he's able to shoot very quickly. Over the course of his 32-year career, he brought in more than 3,000 outlaws, and he killed 14 men in self-defense. At one point, he captured and brought in 17 prisoners single-handedly, and he never suffered a gunshot. His reputation as the most feared Deputy U.S. Marshal was well earned. He finally retired as a policeman in 1909, and he died in 1910. Don't forget, next week we'll have another historical snippet. I'm so glad you tuned in. See you later.